Hey, what I'm going to talk about today is misweighting of priorities. And the idea here is that there's a difference between doing a lot of stuff and doing a lot of important stuff, or a difference in doing a lot of stuff and doing important stuff. I think this is something that is very applicable to business. And I think it's also applicable to the home life, though there are other challenges with that. And I see this when my wife and I are looking at family, that there's a lot of stuff that need to be done. And a lot of times that can fall on somebody's lap. Commonly say the lap of mom or something like that. And there's a lot of stuff to do. And in some way it's a priority, but it's in other ways it might not be a major financial priority. It might not be something you want to do, but it's a priority to somebody else that you're doing it for. And so this kind of concept will lead into other concepts in terms of like how do you delegate, how do you stay in what is actually important to do or important for you and only you can do, and how do you fill and get other things done that are not necessarily done by you. But in a business setting, we're constantly in the modern world. We have so many things to do, and I'm going through a phase like this right now. A ton of stuff to do. There's more stuff than I have time to do, and so we got to constantly look at, like, am I busy doing stuff, or am I doing important stuff? Or out of all the stuff I have to do, what is most important? And there's this thing that happens in our brain that we feel good from doing things because we get to check it off. And there's actually a hormonal response in the brain I've read about that when we have a small victory, something being done, something being complete, that we have a dopamine release from the brain, and that dopamine it feels good. It's like a short pleasure kind of a thing. So when we do something and we get it done, we check it off, we accomplish something, it feels good, and we can use that to our benefit. And at the same time, it can be a little bit of a curse, because the stuff that really needs done a lot of times doesn't feel good. A lot of times it takes a while to get done, so you can't get that quick hit and check it off. But the stuff that's really important, oftentimes, it's uncomfortable. It can take a while, and you don't get that same response there. So an important question to ask would be, if an expert came in, if somebody came in to say a business and they had a far bigger or more successful business or something like that, what would be the difference between how they would think what you should be doing or what's important versus what you're actually doing? And so are we misweighting what we're doing? Are we misweighting our priorities compared to somebody who is more effective? The tough thing is, can you get that? Can you get a kind of unbiased third party? Can you get somebody that you can? Are you open to criticism? Are you open to change? Secondly, can you get that from somebody? A lot of times, in a business setting, that's paid. You're paying to get that information and have somebody come in. But I think we can get that kind of information in different aspects of life from people around us, if we're open. And sometimes you have to seek it out, because anything that would seem to be critical, a lot of times people that and like, they're not going to come in and say, well, you're not doing this effectively, because it's criticism. I guess there are people that would gladly come in and say all those kind of things. That being said, you understand what I'm saying. It can be hard to get that kind of candid feedback from somebody who's effective, and it can be hard to be open to that, an ability to change. So what are you weighting? How are you weighting your priorities? Where are you getting sucked into what somebody else's priority becoming your priority, and filling up all of your time with things that might not have high impact, possibly things that somebody else could do, and just try to sort through that and figure out what is actually most important to do. What is it that only you can do? And then try to figure out a way that the other stuff could either go away or get done by somebody else, so you keep on top priorities and things that are very significant that only you can do.